Hello, my beautiful Pisces. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Pisces, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. Now this reading tends to be quite specific, so it may not resonate with all of you. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But let's get straight to your reading and see what is going on there. Now, I'm already seeing an image in the water because I'm scrying at the same time as doing your reading, and I'm seeing something very unusual, but I'll tell you what it is because maybe it's relevant to you. I'm seeing the big ball of sun that we have in the sky, of course, but then it turns into a button. Random. Okay, so this can indicate symbolically that perhaps, sun is all about growth. It's all about happiness, joy, positivity. It's also about trust, awareness, and radiance, and clarity as well, of course. But the button can be all about security, securing something or fastening something, closing something out. The button is all about safety, security. So it can be that, you're working towards securing your happiness in your future. For some of you, you may feel like button up. Things have been really challenging, but the sun is there. So this means that on the other side of something that perhaps has been challenging for you, it will turn out really positively. I'm not really sure. It literally turns. It's not even like an animation or anything. It's like the sun, the real sun that I see in the sky, and then it suddenly formulates into a button. With, well, actually there's only 3 holes in that. I've just realized, normally there's 4 holes in a button, isn't there? And there's the thread that kind of like binds it all together, but I'm seeing 3 holes. So this could be symbolic in some way for you. So I'm just going to leave that there because I'm not really sure how it resonates with you, or I can only decode what I can see. So let's move on to the cards and see what they say for you. So we have the one who nurtures. So you're in a period of giving back to yourself, but also nurturing the people around you, caring, sharing parts of yourself there, and doing what you can in order to be an eager helper, shall we say, in other people's lives as well as your own. It says empathy, gentleness, and insight. This is a period of trying to make sense of things, gaining clarity. Maybe that's what that's all about. The sun is about seeing. It's an awakening energy. And of course, it's an awakening that you're witnessing within yourself. You're seeing things in the world differently. And of course, the button can be to secure your future or to make sure that you are safe, or perhaps, when you think about the button, it's like to close something up in some way or keep something to yourself. I'm not really sure. I'll leave that image because it's still there. When it's still there, it means I haven't quite said what I need to say about it, but I don't know what else to say. I'll always be honest with you and say, I don't know. So I just gave you what I can give you, and unless my guides give me something more, then I can't give you anything more than that. But let's get to the card. I feel like you are someone who is very sensitive recently. You normally are very sensitive. That's actually your superpower. If anyone ever tells you that you're too sensitive, that you or too nurturing, too supportive, too nice, too all of those things, you know, that's not true at all. You're exactly the way that you're meant to be. Of course, erecting healthier boundaries is important so that no one takes advantage of that kindness that you have there. But if anyone tells you that you're too anything, it normally means that you overwhelm them or they feel like they're not enough to match the vibration that you're in right now. But you may be seeking to understand the world that we live in right now. You may be trying to make sense of things, gain clarity in your situation, like what is going on. It may feel like you're at odds with your environment. You're nurturing your intuition at this time, trying to understand people, their motivations, what's going on in your personal circumstances, as well as the world at large. And it's making you come back to your center. You're trying to come home to self. So you may be seeking practices like meditation, mindfulness, you know, even activities that bring you back to some sort of calmness, because the world is triggering a lot of fear and anxiety right now. So I feel like you're called to do things that bring a little bit more stillness. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you're super busy and exhausted, but I feel like you're trying to be kinder to yourself, manage intrusive thoughts, witness how you treat yourself and what you say to yourself about yourself so that you can nurture, have more emotional security within yourself. Self-love is so important. Self-care is so important, especially when you are a healer. And I feel like you are a natural light worker or a healer. You care so much about people, about animals. In particular, a lot of you may feel like you want to spend more time with animals recently, but I really get this sense that you're trying to find the beauty and the gentleness in a world that has become a little bit harsh. You may crave connection, but the right connection. So you may be noticing friendships shifting, evolving, relationships with your environment shifting and evolving because you're seeking something more right now that you may feel is not present in your personal circumstances. So we have the Seven of Pentacles there. You're at a fork in the road. Seven of Pentacles is you're seeking the alternative. Okay, and I feel like some of you are sitting on the edge of a decision right now regarding your life. You're contemplating, you know, which road to take on something. You're deep in thought. Seven of Pentacles can also indicate that you're dissatisfied with the way things are right now, whether that's in your personal circumstances or the world at large. And you're like, there's got to be more to this. What is it that's the missing ingredient right now? I feel like you're kind of, how would you like to receive? I'd like to receive. Okay, so we have the Knave of Pentacles as a crossing position. We also have the Knave of Chalices as the earthbound position there. So a lot of you trying to understand your emotions, understand your sensitivity, trying to follow your heart, trying to find more fun, trying to come home to self, be more spontaneous, maybe even rewild. A lot of you may feel that life got pretty serious there. We have a Three of Swords. Now this is in your past position. It actually kind of spun itself around to be in this position. And then we've got the Six of Wands. This is in your potential position, so I'm quite excited about it being there because it means that, you know, if you feel like you go unnoticed or unappreciated right now, you will be seen, you will be appreciated, and you will get a token of that appreciation. Six of Wands is all about success, but it's also about influencing your circumstances, putting yourself out there a little bit more. You know, whether you are trying to come out of a comfort zone, we have the Empress energy. Yeah, definitely coming home to self, nurturing yourself in a different way as well. I feel like you're like on the edge of your glow up. You're entering into a phase where you're cutting out things that hurt you, people that perhaps don't resonate, maybe looking at food substances, detoxifying. You know, I feel like you are activating some sort of major lifestyle shift and change. It starts with a mindset. We have the stars right there as your advice to yourself in this moment. Some of you are healing, but also the star is clarity to align with a wish. So I feel a lot of you are seeking something more right now, and you may feel fed up with the way things have been, and it's hard and it's exhausting, and you feel like no matter how hard you invest your energy or your time, you're working super hard and diligently towards, you know, accomplishing something right now, and it always feels like somehow you're in the same place, or you put so much effort in and it feels like it's never enough, or you could do more, but actually you're doing everything you can in this moment. So give yourself permission to acknowledge that and see that there is advancement. We have the Lovers card here. So yeah, as I said, you're on the precipice of a decision, okay? And you're going to make the right choice there. We have the Justice card. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. A lot of duality going on in your reading right now. We have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, that is to find a new direction or to discover something different in your life, walking away. You're definitely in a transition period where things are shifting. We have the King of Swords. Okay, so managing intrusive thoughts with that Five of Swords and that King of Swords. Definitely a mindset reset, as it were, to be kinder to yourself. But also, if you are searching for love, okay, this is not a love reading, I want you to be aware of that. But if you are like overthinking whether love's ever going to come towards you, you know, especially if you are maturing with that Empress energy, I feel like you're going to meet a person who's just a little bit younger than you there. Okay, don't let that put you off, but they're only a little bit younger in age. This person, very good communicator. They are someone who you meet them on an alternative path, or kind of like, for some of you, traveling, okay? But I feel it's more that you're having like a journey of discovery and you're changing direction in some way, or changing the way you do things. And this is where you meet this person, okay? But this is not a love reading. So I want you to be aware that you are going to attract someone who basically, you know, tells it how it is. Someone who's honest, someone who's true blue, someone who is responsible. They don't lead you down the garden path. They want to be in a high level commitment. Someone who's very powerful. They're in a very sort of powerful position. They're an influencer is what I'm seeing there. Maybe even works in the legal profession, but doesn't have to. There may have been some moment in their past that they did that. This person is very respected, okay? And this person, they're very private, but they let you in. So I'm going to leave that there and move away from that. If you are in a relationship already right now, some of you, you know, there may have been some challenges in the relationship. And I feel like you may be dissatisfied with some of the way that your partner has been communicating, but I feel both of you get on par with each other, communicate in a healthy way. You're kind of like going through some birthing pains where, you know, we all grow, and some people grow apart and some people, you know, they grow together, but there's always that gear shift. So if you are in a relationship and you feel like you're in that gear shift right now with your partner, where you just feel like not completely aligned, but still love each other and still want to be with each other, because the Lovers card is right there, I feel like there's a very honest, open conversation coming in your future that helps both of you see each other, really see each other for what you're both going through, what you both want, and you grow together because of it, okay? The Eight of Cups can indicate that there is some sort of restart, okay? It's like a journey of understanding each other in a different way, letting go of the perception of how things should be in a relationship to evolve into what it's going to be. So everybody grows and they grow differently. So it's about keeping an honest, open dialogue to acknowledge how you're both growing and the things that you're seeking. I feel actually there's a monumental conversation coming in your future with your partner about relocation or about different ways of living. Maybe even moving to like a different country or something. There seems to be this monumental shift, but you do it together. And it's exciting, and it really puts that spark back in, and it reminds you what you fell in love with the person for in the first place, okay? So I'm just going to leave that there and move away from the energy. Of course, when a reading is about you, people outside of you, you really care about those people. So of course that's going to affect you, but let's bring it back to you. Not everybody is looking for love. Not everybody is, you know, in a relationship either, but that just popped up, so I had to mention it. Seven of Pentacles, no matter who you are, you're seeking something more right now. You're looking at the things that are developing in your life. You've put a lot of hard work into it. You're at that crossroads and a decision needs to be made, especially since you have the Justice card, which means you're going to make the right decision, but you're afraid that you won't. It's like, well, what if I make the wrong move? You know, listen to your heart. At the very foundation and earth plane position, you have this card, which indicates you are following your heart. You're attracted to a certain way of living or a certain kind of option that you've got right now, and that's the one that's whispering to you. Now, of course, logic needs to be there as well. Head and heart decision, not head over heart. Because I always say this, if you make a head over heart decision, the heart will whisper, it will lament, it will kind of yearn and say, I told you so. Or, yeah, you made a logical decision, but you didn't factor me in. And now I'm going to really crave that other decision. It's going to amplify. So can you make a head and heart decision? Because there needs to be a little bit more balance here. What is the best case scenario, factoring both in? So that's just popped out there. But the Seven of Pentacles, this is an energy right now where, things are going okay. You have what you need, as it were. There could be some more that you could have, which would be lovely. But I feel a lot of you, there's this energy of like, okay, there's got to be more to just like working, money, retiring. There's got to be something else. And I feel right now you're on this kind of soul searching mission to find the missing ingredients and really look into self-development. Okay. Now, I know a lot of you are working super hard and you're like, I don't have the luxury of self-development or, finding time to go off on spiritual retreats and things like that. But it's more than that. It is something that is a ritual, something that is consistent, because you need a little bit more balance here with that justice energy. So I feel like it's cause and effect right now. Moments to yourself, even like 10 minutes of silence to really just witness your thoughts. A lot of people feel like meditation is to clear your mind and sit there, and you may fidget, you may actually have like a million more thoughts because you're trying to come back to your center. Witness the thoughts. What are they? What is the chatter going on in the mind right now? And this is when you start to acknowledge what is really going on behind the scenes. And also, this reading isn't going to go down this route right now because I'm going to bring it back. But some of you are like looking at the thoughts you have and you're like, if I'm witnessing the thoughts that I'm having, who's having the thoughts? Am I having the thoughts? It's like there's two energies right there. It's like, how can I be having the thoughts and witnessing the thoughts? So some of you may be looking into mindfulness practices where you become present, things like the power of now. I'm not here to advertise anyone's book or anyone's practices. You will discover what is right for you. But I feel there is this energy of seeking something alternative right now. And this could be like an alternative hobby. It could be, a different way of doing your diet, your exercise routines. It can be that you're just looking into different alternative methods than the structure that has been in place for some time. Because this card can indicate that, yes, you're working really hard, but you are in a period of self-evaluation and you feel like there is something missing or you're dissatisfied and you're checking the exchange on things. Is it working? Do I love this? All this effort, is it worth it? So I feel a lot of you are also planning for your future, and I feel this is an energy of reinvesting in self. Now, I would also say a lot of you, it's about taking up more space, allowing yourself to be seen. You're a very gifted and talented person, so it's about going for your dreams as well. I feel like you have a plan that you're going to action, and yes, of course, you're going to worry about that sometimes, you're going to overthink it, but come back to your heart space, come back to your center, and breathe, because what is meant for you will never pass you by. You've got this, and I definitely see here that you have been in a cycle over the last year, I would say, for you, especially since this is the year of the snake. You've been either downsizing, decluttering, detoxifying, or removing your energy from things that do not align, especially since you have the Three of Swords in your past position. Anything that hurts you, whether it is a food substance that perhaps has impacted your body, whether it is an environment, whether it's a person, I feel like you're distancing yourself from all of these things in order to kind of like move into next year really excited and enthusiastic about all the success that's coming your way, but also to feel a little bit more in control of your boundaries, to make sure that people do not take advantage of your kindness. So I would say be a little bit kinder to yourself. Three of Swords can be like challenging thoughts. And the King of Swords with that Five of Swords indicates that you are outgrowing aspects of self right now. And that can be growing pains. That's what I see here in whoever I'm picking up on in this reading. Things that you used to love may not feel the same way anymore. circumstances are changing and you may not be able to put your finger on it, but you're trying to understand it. You're trying to seek clarity. You may even feel like somehow you are a little bit at odds with the world at large right now. You may feel this is a world that, of course, seems familiar, yet so unfamiliar. You may feel like people, society shifting. You may feel that people who are in positions of authority are being more bold with not being accountable for their actions, or, all the stuff that has been hidden behind the scenes is coming to light. There's a lot of clarity, a lot of like spotlight going on, all the things that have been perhaps nefarious and, not acceptable. And you just want the truth of that with that justice energy. You're starting to see the truth because you're going through an awakening. And once you see things that other people perhaps cannot see, you can't go back. And that may have made you feel a little bit at odds with your environment, or even with the people who either refuse to see or are not at that place vibrationally to be open to see. Now, it's not your job to actually highlight things to people, of course. They have to find their way to it, but you may have, to some people, mentioned some things and they may not have agreed, or they may have kind of distanced themselves because they're like, oh, that's a challenging conversation that they don't want to go to yet. But you've been kind of sorting things out in your life and finding who resonates, who understands, and who doesn't. Doesn't mean you're not going to keep the people who don't understand in your life, because of course you love those people, you care about those people, you have an affinity with those people. But at the same time, you're acknowledging that you're perhaps on two different pathways, and you can meet in the middle with that, but that doesn't feel like it is something that resonates with you right now. I feel like a lot of you are distancing yourself from these circumstances in order to understand, because the Seven of Pentacles is all about trying to work it out, make decisions, contemplate whether you should be changing your tune, as it were, or fitting in. I mean, you were born to stand out, and looking at your cards, Six of Wands, the star energy, this is you, as I said, taking up more space, standing out, believing in what you believe in, reinforcing your life philosophy. And also, I would say you're standing up for something that you've been reflecting on for quite some time, okay? But I do see that you've been in a decision point this year, and you're not afraid to admit what is no longer for you. That's literally what this Seven of Pentacles means. And because it's with the Knave of Pentacles as a crossing position, it can indicate that, you've been very patient with some people. You may have dealt with very stubborn people, or you may have seen that some things are just not working in your life right now. And that means there is some sort of gear shift, because something more is coming in for you. You're creating space for something more to come in. Now, of course, you have Pentacles here. So a lot of you may be dissatisfied with how far your finances are going, and you're a little bit worried about that. With that Knave of Pentacles, you may be brainstorming new ways to make money, or you're being really practical right now. You're making such an effort. Some of you may even be applying yourself to kind of learn new skills or learn new ways of compounding your wealth in order to make sure you're secure, because I cannot ignore the fact that a button came up earlier, which is all about fastening things or, securing things there. But I feel more than anything, these two cards are you learning about your capabilities, learning about what you will accept and what you will not accept right now, and how things are changing, and it's forcing you into a position to look at the alternative, okay? Now, some of you may have been called to journal recently as well, or to write down your feelings, or to try and understand a little bit more, because I feel like you're achieving a lot right now, but there's something that you're craving that you feel like you haven't got, because that Eight of Cups is telling me about a journey of self-discovery, or, walking away, letting go, seeking deeper meaning in everything, greater authenticity in conversations. You don't like surface level conversations, so you may be just re-examining where you feel like you've been and where you want to go now, and who are your soul tribe, especially if your friendship circles are shifting. But I feel like there is a path that you ought to walk, and a path that is actually true to your heart. And those two paths are not the same. So I feel right now you're trying to find your way in that, because looking at the earthly plane position, I feel like actually you're going to walk the path that calls to your heart. Okay. This is, of course, an energy of you experiencing new things, trying new things out, whether it's new hobbies, new ways of living, new neighborhoods. You want something new. I feel this is a card of purpose. A lot of you are also developing your spiritual gifts at this time, but I feel like you've been getting a constant message about your sense of purpose, how you make a difference. And you certainly do make a difference in people's lives, but also right now you want to make a difference in your life is what I'm seeing here. And with this Page of Cups energy, I feel you're in a period right now of leaning into your sensitivities. And that can be sensitivities like in your emotions. A lot of your healing, whatever this Three of Swords has been for you, it's been very challenging. Life has been very challenging, but you're leaving the challenge behind because the Three of Swords is in your past position. What you're moving towards is conquering these challenges. You're kind of like walking away from stuff right now, not because you're avoiding it, because you're processing it, you're healing it, but also you're dissecting it in order to understand whether it resonates with you or not. And I feel you're in a period of understanding because this card really resonates with your earthly bound position card right now. You're in a period of empathy, understanding people, understanding what's going on in the world, trying to make a difference, trying to be that light in the darkness sometimes. I'm actually seeing in the water right now the Hermit card, and you don't have a Hermit card in your reading, but it can be that you're the sort of person who shines a light when things are challenging, and I feel you're exhausted. I feel like you've been showing up for yourself, bringing your A game to life, and it's hard. You do need moments of respite, and make sure that you're aware of that. There is inspiration coming for you. There is that spark returning for you, especially if you've been feeling overwhelmed recently with your emotions there. But it's not going to stop you from following your heart. You have a beautiful heart, and you extend kindness to everybody that you meet. Do not forget yourself in that. This is a time to be kinder to yourself. But also it is a period where you want to be a little more studious, I feel a lot of you may be called to volunteer work, for example, at this time, or you want to learn new hobbies or connect to new things that you fall in love with. Essentially, you want to fall back in love with your life again because you may feel that something monumental shifted or changed over the last couple of years, and you feel like you have not been coming home to self. You may have felt really kind of outside of yourself almost. Because there is this energy, whenever I get the Empress energy, it tells me that you want to come home to yourself. You are on a period of understanding more as you mature about your needs. You're trying not to allow the world to harden your heart, the challenges, the obstacles that seem to be ever present right now. And it can indicate that you are becoming. And when you're becoming, especially with an Empress energy, it tells me that something went on in your past or even recently where everything changed and it was hard. So that Three of Swords can be that you're grieving your old life in some way, but you are becoming, and the best is yet to come. But some of you, this is an energy of dealing with sadness, isolation, feeling misunderstood, feeling unseen. For some of you, you are grieving a person. And again, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. And this is only if this has happened, because this is a past position card. So this is something you're coming to this reading dealing with right now. And there's so much to deal with. But this is on top of what you're going through emotionally. And I mean, you're going to get lots of communication from a person in spirit is what I'm seeing there. A lot of you may be almost like on autopilot dealing with legalities like probate or some sort of inheritance there with that, because the Justice card can indicate legalities, and it's almost like it's not giving you the space to breathe or even to grieve properly. It's like you've had to put it aside in order to be practical, because there's a lot of practicality in your energy right now. It's like, I just got to do it and get on by. But there's a lot of emotion here as well. And I feel that the emotion, of course, hits you at different moments that surprise you. But I feel that there is a lot of signs and symbols around you right now. And these signs and symbols are giving me this energy of like there needs to be change and cutting things out or something like that. So that's going to be very precise to you. I'm asking for a specific sign. Okay, thanks so much. I'm truly grateful. Now, I have to give it to you as I see it, okay? In the water right now, I'm actually seeing a trinket that's in this bowl. Okay, that's unusual. Normally it's something very precise that is connected, but all I'm being given is this trinket right here. I see it upside down here, but in the water it is upright. And it just is, oh my gosh, it is actually a button. I just realized that. It's kind of like a token button that says love. There's only one hole in this one though, but that's what I'm seeing. Now this is unusual. I don't tend to see trinkets that are in here, okay? But I have to, as I said, tell it how it is. So I feel some of you may actually receive an unusual button, find one somewhere. Maybe this is the token of love to indicate security, that they've got you, okay? Of course, that says love, so that means unconditional love there. You're going to get signs and symbols. Ask for something precise to you, but look out for random buttons. And this could be like walking down the sidewalk, you find a random button. Or it could be that you reach into your pocket, you're like, what? Where's that button from? You can't even place it on any item of clothing. Not there by accident, okay? So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove my energy from this. Ooh, it's gone super cold here. Got true chills. Maybe you're also going to witness, a change in temperature in your environment. Even though it gets cold, it's a hug, is what I'm being given. Okay, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. So I'm just going to move on with a lot of love and respect. That's what just came out there for anyone who is grieving a person. There are lots of signs and symbols, but they're going to be very precise to you, but also look out for a button. Okay, so the Three of Swords for others. This can indicate that you have a lot on your mind right now, a lot of stress, a lot of strain, a lot of overthinking, a lot of anxiety, and you're trying really hard to come back to your center, to witness your thoughts, to understand. And you may be trying to remove anything that hits your trigger point. So you may have been distancing yourself, for example, from like news. I don't think anyone really watches mainstream news anymore, but I feel that this can be that, because pages bring news, okay? I want you to be aware of that. You've got two knaves here, so it's like you want good news stories. Now, it's not that you're avoiding negative news, but you may be just witnessing how it changes your cortisol levels, how it thrusts you into anxiety. So you may be just coming back to your center in order to do things that you love, or connect more to community, or connect more to things that make you feel good. Feel good movies, for example. What we witness, observe, digest, it lives in the pain body, it lives in the muscles, it lives in the muscle memory. And even like if you think about a scary movie, and I love scary movies, right? Even if you think about a scary movie that you may have watched like a decade ago, if you can remember, what went down in that movie, and sometimes if you hear like a creaky noise, you're like, what's that? It's putting you on the edge of your nerves. It's something that reminds you of something that you digested by observing it many years ago. It lives within us. So a lot of you are, as you evolve, because there's definitely a spiritual awakening happening here, I feel like you're being really careful now about what you witness, what you see, what you observe, what you listen to, what you eat, or that's something that you're trying to aspire to achieve right now. I feel like you're cutting out a lot of things that cause you overthinking or anxiety right now in order to preserve your mental well-being. And I feel like you're on the right course to do that. Now, Six of Wands is in your presiding energy. It means you're going to have some sort of success come in there. Six of Wands also indicates that, you are enlightened and you are also evolving to a higher frequency, and you're an influencer. Now, an influencer can be like on a global stage, or it can be like you're influencing people in your immediate circumstances by how you process information and how you like highlight certain things. But you can't force a person to see something. You can just pave the way for them to do their own sort of investigations and understand it fully. But also, this can be that you are influencing your circumstances. Six of Wands indicates that a lot of you may have decided that from now on, you're going to try and lean into your emotions. And if you felt a little bit shut down in your emotions over the last couple of years, I feel like you're going to be a little bit more open, or you're trying to be a little bit more open. A lot of you may have been working on your listening skills, on your vocalization of how you feel, articulating your needs from a healthy space so you can erect your healthy boundaries and really be seen for what it is that you mean. So I feel a lot of you are cultivating, just a brand new you, as it were. Nothing wrong with the old you, but I feel like you are evolving, you're shifting, and I feel like you're just understanding your environment and the people around you in a different way. And the Six of Wands, of course, on a more practical level, because I feel a lot of you, life got pretty serious. I feel there's a lot of responsibility there. I feel something hasn't been working. You're trying to find an alternative path right now, and you're going to be very successful at it, okay? And this is you achieving your goals. You know, a lot of you are investing in something, and it will yield results. So whether you are investing financially, then of course you're going to see the results of your investments thrive. For some of you, this could be that you're investing in new food substances or alternative remedies or alternative ways of living right now. And you're going to see a measure of, like a cause and effect going on. What you do will affect your future. And I feel there is a decision to be made here. You're making the right one. Now, in your future, we have the Empress, which is all about abundance. Something you're nurturing right now, something you're questioning right now is actually going to inform you. And this is you being kinder, spreading unconditional love, being kinder to yourself as well. Most importantly, this is about nurturing yourself in a different way, having a glow up. You know, a lot of you right now, especially because we have the Empress, which is a feminine energy. So if you're going through the menopause, for example, because this can be, you know, a mature woman, for example, a lot of you may be looking at the alternative to try and monitor kind of hormones that are out of balance. Something is out of balance here, okay? Because you've got a Seven of Pentacles, which means it's not quite even. But the Justice card can indicate that you get advice that brings you back into balance in some way, and that you remain on target with your health goals, with hormones, with vitamins, minerals, things like that. But of course, not everyone who's coming to this reading is, you know, a menopausal woman. I feel a lot of you, with your menopause, there may have been some brain fog there, which you will gain clarity and get back on track. I feel some of you, there could be a vitamin that's missing or mineral that's missing that you discover, and then you have a lot more clarity there as well. Also, now, this is not going to resonate with all of you, and I'm not a healthcare professional, so please always seek advice from your medical professional there. But I'm also being given like salt baths, okay? Now, just take that as you will. A lot of you may be doing that already, but I feel that's symbolic more than anything to do with cleansing, as in purifying, detoxifying, things like that. So a lot of you, especially with that star energy, you may be doing those sort of rituals at this time, and it's just going to help you, okay? Now, as I said, not everyone is a menopausal woman there, so it can be that you're looking at maturing, okay? So no matter who you are right now, you're looking at the nature of getting older. Things that you want are different now. Things that you accept are different now. Your tolerance of people or situations are, you know, changing. Especially with that King of Swords, it can be that you're more direct. You know, you do not want to waste time. You have certainly no time for time wasters, but also it can be that as you mature, you start to lament or grieve all parts of your life. Times we felt it was easier, or there was more fun or more spontaneity, because as we get older, the responsibilities start getting heavier and heavier, and we start to see things and structures in a different way, and it kind of dampens the sparkle and the shine, but you are going to rediscover this spark. It feels like whatever you're going through right now, this is only the beginning of something really exciting on the other side that you will celebrate. I feel like you are evolving into who you've always been meant to be. We all shift and change. You know, we're all different from a decade ago. We're all certainly different from 5 years ago, right? So you're shifting, especially since you have that Five of Swords. Now, I'll get to that card in a moment, but my guides are highlighting it to me right now. They're actually showing me in the water the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. I often reference that deck because pictorially it gives you more of a sense of what's going on there. Now, in the Five of Swords, there are three figures, but actually, you know, my guides helped me reimagine that and highlighted that actually this is a person outgrowing different parts of themselves, growing pains. Okay, and each sword is knowledge, it's wisdom, and the figure takes, you know, swords with them, but also leave some behind. There are certain lessons that are painful that you're learning, and you're like, I learned that. I never want to go back to that situation or that person again, so I'm going to leave that behind, but I'm taking the lesson with me. But also the figures that are in the background, it's like you've been through some stuff, right? You're evolving because of it, and you're still standing. And it can indicate you've taken in your past like criticism from people. You've had some things that you may have considered a failure, but actually it was a redirection and a protection. Often humans, us in general, we look at things that we really care about, and if it doesn't go our way, suddenly we feel like it's the end of the world, or we feel defeated, we feel exhausted. But often we need to reimagine the path and acknowledge that the universe is pointing in a different direction, a more rewarding direction. The universe is trying to pave the way for better things to come. So it will either reject a path for you, reject a person for you. Rejection is protection and redirection. But I feel like you are becoming more knowledgeable in who you are, what your heart really wants, and you're starting to turn things down or turn people away from your life because you're aware now intuitively of how you're growing and what is aligning with you and what is right for you. But you're at that fork in the road right now where you're like, ooh, which direction do I go in? Or you're making a monumental decision in your life that will affect your life. It will have a ripple effect, and you're making the right decision. You're engaging your heart and your logic there, okay? Don't overthink it. Your gut instinct knows the way. Now, the star energy, a lot of you are healing. Okay, now this can be healing from generational wounding. It can be healing from an unwellness or a heartbreak, a sadness, a separation for some of you. Some of you, if you've been married in the past, because the King of Swords and the Three of Swords, along with a star, can indicate a widower or someone who is in a high-level commitment and is grieving, their love. But this person is all around. I want you to be aware they are with you. I just heard they're omnipresent. Okay, so that can indicate that they are always with you. Yeah, I guess that's it. No matter where you go, this person, you carry them in your heart, but at the same time, look out for the button. I just heard, so look out for the button. I'll leave it there. But the stars, no matter what you're going through, the stars is all about healing. Now, I am going to put my finger on this card because it's a little bit risque, okay? And YouTube does not like that. So I didn't realize that it was quite a risque card, but there we go. That's why I'm holding it in a really unusual way. But the star is all about clarity. It's alignment with a wish. So you're in your feelings right now. You're very sensitive right now because you're aligning with what it is you want to commit to. It's like, what is it you really need in your life? What is it you really desire? Because you can have it. I feel a lot of you, life has been about acceptance, but what is to come, it means you're aligning with something that you've been thinking about for some time. And if you have anxiety or you're second guessing yourself and you are worrying about something, those vibrations get in the way of your thoughts becoming things. So just be like really mindful, believe in yourself, believe in the vision of what you desire, and you're going to have it. I see it happening here for you because you've got a plan, you're going to action the plan, and the changes that you're making right now, your future self is going to thank you for that, okay? But I feel a lot of you with that star energy, you're healing, you're detoxing, or you're nourishing yourself in a different way because you are a visionary, but also you see. You have the light upon you. You have the truth upon you. You have, this energy of being open for more, but you're gaining insight about the needs that you have that have not been fulfilled just now in your life. And you will fulfill them, whether that's soul tribe members, new people coming into your life. There's definitely new people coming in here if you're seeking community. For some of you, if you've been feeling a little bit isolated or alone or unappreciated, you're going to see more opportunities to be appreciated and seen. And you're not searching for validation. That's something totally different. I feel this is about you doing what you do, being your best self, and being acknowledged by others who align with you. And it changes your relationships vibrationally. I'm not talking about someone going, oh, good job, Pisces, well done. You're amazing, because often that's something you don't need because you know how hard it is to get to where you're going. So you should be proud of yourself to a certain degree, of course. Be really proud of yourself because I feel like you are managing a lot right now. You have the King of Swords, which is a manager card. It can indicate that you're trying to structure your life in a certain way. And it's hard because the Five of Swords is like, there's tension, there's conflict. And of course, you're having a different way of thinking these days. And now you're trying to adapt with it. It just feels like life monumentally shifted for you in some way, and now you're dealing with the fallout of that and trying to make it work. A lot of success in your future, a lot of your plans going absolutely wonderfully. Trust your gut instinct. There may be one or two things that you will adapt with. I got to be honest with you. Five of Swords is there, and the Eight of Cups is there, which means you walk away from something that you considered, but once you thought about it, you're like, actually, that's not for me. So you will change your mind on something. The Lover's card is about choices. Now, for some of you, as I mentioned, if you want to be in a high-level commitment, this is a soulmate coming on in. This is circumstances outside of your self-position. So that means you're in a state of attraction right now. You're attracting something that you feel is a missing ingredient in your life, whether it's money, love, happiness. Most importantly, health is wealth. Okay, so a lot of you, if you're feeling like out of sorts or out of balance, a lot of you are attracting your needs right now and will be in balance, because this, at the core root of this card, it's an attraction card. It can be a manifestation card. There's something at your heart center that you want. That's on the earthly plane position right now. You know, some signs, it's like they're not quite there yet, but you're there. You're engaging with your sensitivities and saying, I would love it to be this way. And the universe is like, okay, well, you are matching a vibration, so it can be that way. Watch your thoughts. That's why you may have been kind of disassociating with anything that triggers, you know, fear or anxiety, or you've just been shifting so that you can make sure that these vibrations do not interfere with something that you're manifesting right now. Okay. So whatever it is, I feel like you're attracting it. There will be a choice. So if you're attracting love right now, there's going to be two people. There's going to be options. There may be a person who's presenting as like super kind of physically attracted to you, someone where there's a lot of chemistry straight off the bat, and you're like, this is the one. But when you sit back and think, you're like, okay, this person lives in the moment. They're not thinking about the future. They're exciting to be with, and physically, I am about that person. They are amazing. However, I want substance. I want something a little bit more. I want something long term. Then there's another person who has all those attributes as well, but perhaps, you know, they don't give the quick fix that you're wanting. There's a little bit more of a slower energy to this person, more thoughtful energy to this person. Don't get me wrong, there's still chemistry, it's still wild and exciting, but you may have to choose. Same with opportunities, jobs. If you're looking for a job, a lot of you may be worried right now financially. There is two options coming here. You're going to walk away from one. One is a bit of a headache, got to be honest with you. And the other one, it's like, that's the one. So do your due diligence. Sit on that fence. Don't feel rushed into a decision. Whatever it is. Some of you, it could be that you're trying to find a neighborhood that fits, or a house in a certain neighborhood. Trust your gut. If you don't love it, if you're overthinking it, if you're like, oh my gosh, it's great, but it doesn't have this, then it's not that. Wait until the right thing comes along. You're going to walk into something where you're like, I know. As soon as you know, that's it. There's no second guessing. There's no questioning. So I feel whatever it is you're going through right now, you shall have it. I mean, look at this card. Right now, your guides are giving you like this hit of like knowingness. So this figure has the sun around them, the rays, and they've got a bow and arrow. It's like, you're going to be so direct. You're going to be like, I want that one. Trust your gut instinct. Now, we do have the Justice card in the hope and a fear position. Some of you, if you have been in a high-level commitment in the past, or you were heartbroken, let down, and broken, basically, from a previous relationship, trust may have to be rebuilt, and you're going to meet a person who actually restores your trust and faith in love, okay? But of course, because of your experiences, you're going to second guess it a little bit at first, but trust the process. You've learned a lot. You're not going to return to something that damaged your trust in love, whether this is friendship or, you know, some of you may be healing from like a very toxic work environment, for example, as well. The Justice card can also indicate that there are some legal processes that you're going through right now, and you're feeling a bit challenged. You're not sure how it's going to go. Lead with integrity, okay? Because the truth will always out. And if you feel like anyone is being unfair, dishonest, or abusing a system, the truth will out. And you will find a way to own your truth and basically be rewarded for being truthful. there that's coming out as well, because I feel something will be fair for you. Also, I feel this is a recalibration in your life on a personal level. This is like nothing to do with anything or anyone outside of yourself. I feel like you're adapting, adjusting in some way, and making sure that there is reciprocity, fairness, and harmony in your life. You're distancing yourself from drama. I mean, the fear for a lot of you, I mean, this could be also connected to world events. The fear, because you read this card in the reverse as well as the upright, the fear is it's unfair. And it's been going on for too long. There are issues in the world right now where things feel off kilter, a lot of things being revealed. And it's like, once the truth is revealed, it's like, how do we now deal with that? How do we influence the circumstances in order to proceed from that? And of course, everyone will find their way towards what they believe is right and what they want to stand up for. And of course, I feel this is about having the courage and the conviction of utilizing your voice, because your voice matters. With that King of Swords, this is about you speaking your truth, and your voice matters, okay? Swords are all about the mind, the voice, communication, thoughts. So I feel this is about you standing up for something or witnessing something that you feel you need to take a stand on. And of course, with the Justice card in this position, you want it to be fair. So I feel like the way that you conduct yourself moving forward, you're walking away from something and you're making it fair by doing that. Okay, so yeah, or you're cutting something out. The Justice card is basically indicating that you need a little bit more balance in your life as well. If you do one thing all the time, it can get a little bit stale in life. So this can be that life got pretty serious, you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, something isn't working right now, and you're like exhausted and just needing a break. Well, the universe is going to send you that break to catch, and you're going to need to make some decisions about that as well. The Eight of Cups indicates that a new pathway is opening up for you, okay? Now, this can cause a little bit of overthinking or anxiety, but remember, you're outgrowing parts of yourself right now, so you're going to make some decisions that perhaps other people may be surprised by, but ultimately you're being true to your path because of that King of Swords there. Now, the Eight of Cups is all about seeking greater meaning. Okay, now you're just aware right now in life that all that glitters is not gold. You're just seeing beyond it all. You know, you deserve like authentic riches. You know, whether that's communication with a person, a connection, or whether it is like, I mean, wow, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. Now, I don't know anything about this, and I'm not here to give advice on this either. But my guides are like showing me a pile of money and then showing me a pile of gold. Okay, so it could be that you're looking at currencies and whether they're backed by certain precious minerals and things like that. I'm not sure about that. I'm not going to go down that route right now, but I just saw it in the water. So symbolically, it can mean that you are worth your weight in gold, that you are precious, that you need to value yourself a little bit more, or make sure you connect to situations that value you. And you can intuitively feel that. So maybe it's that. But I feel there is a path right now that just doesn't feel like it's right for you. And you're looking at the alternative. That's what it keeps coming back to here. And you're not afraid to say, actually, this doesn't work. So this could be a relationship, friendship, or a neighborhood, or an idea for some of you, because there's so many swords here. But the Five of Swords is like, it's been a bit of a headache trying to work it out, but you're coming back to your heart in order to find your way through this. So some of you could be letting someone down or walking away from somebody or something. I mean, this could also indicate that there's a person who can never be pleased. No matter what you do, no matter how you show up for this person, you offer unconditional love time after time. I feel a lot of you are acknowledging that you're not responsible for someone else's happiness. You're responsible for your own happiness, but you can offer kindness, love, devotion to people. They need to find that happiness within themselves, because happiness comes from within the self. And you can't reach into another person and say, you will be happy. You can only do that for yourself. You'll still be there for the people that perhaps you have found, and this is not going to resonate with all of you, but there may be that one person, no matter what you do, you feel like it's never enough. Even if this is something that you're actioning yourself, you may feel like you're not doing enough, but actually I feel like you're at capacity and you're doing a lot right now, because the Five of Swords indicates a lot of tension, a lot of stress, a lot on your mind. Some of you may even have had some tension headaches or even some tension in the shoulders, and like, you're like, I need a massage, okay? But I feel the universe is going to send you a bit of a spiritual massage in order to Get clear on something, take action on something, stand up for something, speak your truth, erect healthier boundaries, and be more in control. Truth is everything to you right now. And I feel, you may be looking at universal truths, but you also may be looking at personal truths, taking accountability for your life, and of course, setting your intentions and having a foundation that will literally affect your future. But it comes back to the present moment. What you're doing right now will affect your future to come. So that was a very challenging reading. And of course, a lot of you may be like, nope, doesn't resonate. But I have to honor what comes out there. Some of you may be nodding your head and saying, okay, I get that. But oh my gosh. I mean, even in a different deck, look at this. Following your heart will lead you to the right things. I mean, drop the mic. That's it. That's it right there. That's your whole reading. Continue to make the most of every open door. And there is a portal opening up here for you, but it requires a gear shift. You've been going through that gear shift. It's almost like you've been kind of deep down aware that things are shifting and you've been preparing. Well, the time is coming now where you feel ready to take that next step. You're owning it and honoring your truth. We've also got, you're pushing yourself to exhaustion. Enjoy yourself in between all of your hard work. Yes, I felt that, especially since I saw the Hermit there as well. The Hermit is a temporary timeout to recharge, regroup, gain more inspiration. When you're working at capacity or under a lot of stress and strain, especially mentally, because I feel a lot of you are trying to manage your mental well-being right now, especially since there's a lot going on. You're not just factoring yourself in. Some of you may be parents, guardians. You're trying to factor in other people. Some of you may be a carer. You're helping your family or family member. And it's a lot and it can be challenging. And you're such a beautiful heart. You're lucky indeed to have them in your life and vice versa. They are so lucky to have you in their life as well. Sometimes it can be exhausting. Okay, so take a rest, take a break if you get that moment to do so. And it says here, if all you're doing is waiting for the really big moments, you won't value and appreciate the small ones. That's what the Eight of Cups really is about. It's coming back to your center and acknowledging that connection with a person, a really honest, deep conversation is so important as well. Connection is the key. We are all connected. Unity is so important. Like, sometimes it's really awesome to win something that you want. Right? And by win, I mean you conquer something to get there. You did it all by yourself. It's not like a competition where you're like, oh, I won, and you were just luck of the draw. You work really hard, blood, sweat, and tears for everything that you're doing right now. And of course, that moment is valuable because you worked really hard for it. You accomplished it. There's a success and a win here for you in your future that you will celebrate. But sometimes it's a moment with a person where you discover something about them. And it's really honest, open, raw conversation where there is vulnerability, where there is a person letting you in and saying, I'm dealing with this and I don't know. And you're like, you know what? I don't know either. But together in that moment, you feel like kindred spirits. Now, this could be like you talking to a parent or a guardian and them like unlocking a nugget of truth about their past that they never talked about. And you're like, suddenly there's a connection. This could also be with your partner if you have a partner where, they have private thoughts and suddenly they let you in on something that they've been wrestling with. And you're like, you know what? I'm there. I'm there for you. We can do this together. Whatever it is, sometimes it's a moment and we have forgotten that in a very fast-paced society. And I feel like you're craving something alternative, craving something more, but it's been there all along. It's inside of you. So you're coming home to yourself in order to acknowledge what it is that you want. And it is this sense of connection, this truth. Yes, money is important. We all need it to pay the bills. We all need to be feeling secure. But sometimes we got to remember that the important smaller moments, the journey of getting to where you want to be, that's just as valuable as getting to the destination point and celebrating that win. So enjoy the process. There's something here that you are aligning with that you will celebrate. You're making the right decisions. You've got this. Own it. Believe in yourself and connect to the people around you because we are all here but for a fleeting moment and we're all one. Connection is the key. So I'm going to move on and get your trinket. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides and Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Pisceans? What do they need to know? Okay. Oh my gosh. Did I just say that is the key? I'm not sure because I access different parts of my brain when I'm channeling, and that was like the final kind of thing there, but you got a key. Okay, so this is a fleur-de-lis key, which means emperor energy, which means structure, it means success, it means protection. Okay, some of you are literally going to have like a sudden realization. The key can be an answer. Symbolically, it means an answer to a question that's regarding your destiny. So you're going to gain insight on that. But also, the key can be that you're unlocking the next stage, or that you are in a period of unlocking secrets or seeing things that other people are not seeing. But also, I feel it could be something very tangible, like getting the keys to a property, or, you know, getting the key to someone's heart, for example, or giving over the key to your heart to somebody, trusting someone with something, or even healing trust in, you know, your life in some area that you feel has been broken. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope something resonates in some shape or form, my beautiful Pisceans. Thank you so much, and love and light.